Hi. Okay, so we are talking now about what you're going to do in your language arts and your language this week. We talked a lot about, well, let's see, we had 2 lessons, a quiz, and then we started our next group of lessons. So the first one is commas in a series. I told you a little bit about that on Tuesday because I think it's a really important and it's a little tricky. So when you have a couple of nouns together, if you're making a list or you're saying something about something in a lot of ways, you want commas. When you have a bunch of adjectives around there, you want commas. It's to separate the words so you know what's making a list, what's important, what you need to do, making you stop and think a little bit, because a comma helps you pause while you're thinking and while you're reading. So let's just say we had Mrs. Brandt is your first noun. Mrs. Evans is your next noun. And then you put a comma, and Mrs. McDonald. Why is that name so hard to spell? Donolad. Mrs. McDonald teach at SCA. Okay, so Mrs. Brandt, you want to put a comma. Mrs. Evans, comma, and Mrs. McDonald teach at SCA. That's a list of teachers. It's telling you about several different nouns. If I didn't have these commas, it'd be Mrs. Brandt, Mrs. Evans, Mrs. McDonald. Ooh, but when you have a comma, it's Mrs. Brandt, Mrs. McDonald, or Mrs. Evans, Mrs. McDonald teach at SCA. That comma gives you a breath so you can pay attention to what's being written. Commas are important for that. They keep you from saying something you don't want to say. A lot of times there's just one book that I recommend you find it at the public library if you end up going there. It's called Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. And it talks about when you don't leave commas, it talks about how, or you don't have commas, how commas can save lives. So if you eat, shoot, and leave, that means you're eating something, you're killing something, and then you're leaving. Or eats, comma, shoots, comma, leaves. And then it's a panda eating, shoots, and leaves. So look into it. It's a really cute book. So that's what you're going to do for this one. First, you're going to do the practice here where you're going to see it says Eric, Emily, and Allison. So those are 3 names. Eric, comma, Emily, comma, and Allison saw penguins at the aquarium. Most penguins have black heads, backs, and flippers. So the head, comma, the back, comma, and the flipper. You put a comma before the and, but you don't have to do it after the end. Keep going on here. Looking here, this one, is that right? Is that wrong? Looking here, is this one right? Wrong? The same thing. Then here on the back, you're going to do the same thing. And then I want you to come up with a sentence on your own. You can use sea creatures. At the aquarium, I saw sharks, fish, and turtles. So that's what you're going to do there. Then the next day, you're going to review all the different language things that we have been studying. The plurals, we've studied the commas, we've studied the changing the words from man to men, or woman to women, or child to children. Those are the ones you're going to do. And then if it's just an S or an ES, you're going to do the review for both of those things. Making sure that titles of books are capitalized, but not the little words, just the bigger words, the more important words. And also capitalizing names, because names are important. Then on your middle of the week, I think it's going to be Wednesday for you, I want you to do this test. Your mom is not allowed to tell you any answers. She can read the questions if you need help reading the question. Your dad cannot tell you any of the answers. He can read the question, but he can't tell you any of the answers. So just do your best. Make sure you are reading really closely to what it is. This even has little hints here, little ideas, front and back. Tell me what's right. Tell me if it's wrong. And remember common and proper nouns. Think about those things when you're doing that. Then the following week, we're going to start our next unit. We're talking about what's called expository writing, or instruction writing, or teaching writing. It's like nonfiction writing. It's going to tell you how to use your writing to be clear on what you want to say. So The first lesson is going to be on thesaurus and picking better, stronger words. Use your thesaurus. The word small or little, the word little in your thesaurus, it wants you to use the word small. So you'll have to go to the word small in your thesaurus that I sent home with you, and then find the different synonyms that would go with that. And then here, on this side, it's the same thing. Instead of this word pull, it wants you to use different words, and there's plenty of choices. Make sure that it makes sense, though. Don't do something where it is just, you're like, wait, what? I don't see how that works. I mean, diminutive is one of the ones for small. It doesn't always fit in your sentence. So just be cautious and be thinking about it. Just think hard. But there are lots of choices. So just take a look, pick some words. And then what I want you to do is this word right here, it says good. I want you to write a sentence and tell me when something good happened, but don't use the word good. So you can tell me something like, I was joyful when I saw that everybody passed their test because that is excellent instead of good. I was so happy when everyone passed their tests because it was good, or I was joyful because everyone did a great job and it was excellent. So thinking about ways to change the words and stop using those regular plain old words and adding more. Then the last thing you're going to do that week is you are going to do this side. You don't have to worry about this side right now, just because this is just more instruction. But don't lose this, okay? So this side is first, second, third. So first you want to write, what do you need? And then don't write full sentences. You don't have to write full deep sentences. But then you're going to tell me here and here and here. So you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What would you need? You would need bread. You would need peanut butter. You would need jelly. You would need a plate. You would need a knife. And what are you going to do first? First, you're going to get all the supplies you need and put it out for you. So get supplies. That's all you have to write. Get supplies. Then after you do that, then you're going to put bread on the plate. And then after you put bread on the plate, then what do? You put peanut butter and jelly on the bread with your knife. Then you put the bread together and then you can eat it. And that is your list of things. And then right here, you're going to use your time words. First, second, third, last, finally, however you choose. And these are your time order words you can pick from that will help you. So that is language. That's your English work that you're going to do this week. So hopefully that's not too much. I'm sorry this video is quite a bit longer because you're going to be doing two different groups. You're going to finish chapter 3 and we're moving into chapter 4. Okie dokie. See you soon.